What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the H Panel. So for this one, I will be talking to an old friend of mine. Her name is Laura Escobar, and she will be talking to us about her experience in work as a behavioral therapist for children with autism, and she'll also be shedding some light on her work with adults with mental health. So this will be a really good episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Man, I need to shave that mustache. It is getting whiskery. Anyway, back to the episode. Hope you guys enjoy. What's going on, everyone? I'm Harry Potvin, and welcome back for another episode of the H Panel, the show where we bring on guests from all different backgrounds to talk mental health. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by Laura Escobar. She is a close friend of mine who I've known for many years. She has worked with children with autism as a behavioral therapist and also works with people with mental illness as a community life skills worker. Additionally, she has also done social work in college and recently got her university degree in forensic psychology. Laura, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
Not bad, self-quarantining, but nothing new. You have to. Everyone's doing it, so it's whatever. Why don't you just give us a little background about yourself?
So I did social work for 2 years, and then I did my undergrad in forensic psych. I'm actually in the process of getting my master's in counseling psychology as well. I worked as a rescue worker for a year. I worked with children with many, autism, many different disabilities. And now I'm working with Canadian Mental Health Association, which is a big company, and they deal with a lot of intense mental health.
Oh, yeah.
So I deal with, I'm the relief staff, so I go in there whenever things get rocky. Like right now, I'm supposed to go in on Friday. I guess someone got sick with everything with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I was to kind of be available to go and help out. So I kind of work in the group homes where it's people ranging from, I think the youngest is like 23 and the oldest is like 50 something. They all have come out of the hospital. So they all mostly come out of Ontario Shores. And we have 4 different group homes, and they're all there basically to help them eventually be independent and be out in the community. Most of them have schizophrenia or other mental illnesses. They have to be there because it's kind of hard for them to do daily tasks. Most of the time, all they want to do is just stay in the room. Right now, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But in normal situations, you can't stay in your room the whole time. Or they'll forget to take their medications, so we're mostly there to remind them to take their medications, to remind them to get into the community, to make sure everything's in order, to help them with any life skills that they need. Some of them have never learned how to clean before, or cook, or any of that sort of stuff. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And some of them, you have to also be very patient and understanding. And with most of them, they have especially one of them, he has very intense schizophrenia. Obviously, schizophrenia is very broad.
Yeah.
So if you don't know about it, it kind of causes you to have hallucinations, visuals, or just stimuli. For example, we have one guy who kind of talks to himself all day.
Yeah.
It's kind of is stimulating all day. And I feel so bad for him because that must be so exhausting. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of putting yourself in that, in his shoes, because a lot of people, and this is why I love that you are talking about mental health, because a lot of people are so scared, have such a bad stigma about mental health.
Yeah.
He stigmatizes, but he's a great guy. Some of them, I sit there and have a conversation. When I started, I was doing my training and I started talking to someone, to one of our clients, and I was just having a normal conversation. And then I kind of read about her backstory. They're just normal people, like all of us.
Yeah,
exactly. Just going through things.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And some of them even went to university. Some of them had wives and husbands and all of that sort of stuff. Except, things just happen our lives. Whenever I have mental health issues, my life kind of starts going.
Yeah, exactly.
Back,
Yeah.
So I know that was pretty long. That was a small little
No,
background.
that was good. No, that was good. That was good. Now that we have a background, you just mentioned, you're working with these people who have a bunch of different mental health issues and stuff. You mentioned to me when we were discussing this earlier, you were talking about how that has affected your own mental health.
Well, I've been in like the social work field for a very long time, and I would say that mostly when I was working with kids with disabilities, with intense autism, they tend to have a lot of extreme behaviors. Not all of them, and I love my job. I was coming home and just kind of like not talking to anybody. I would come home from work, just stay in there, close the door, go back out in the morning, and go to work. I wasn't enjoying my job.
Yeah,
it had a lot to do with, it's kind of hard to go into a job that you're not really enjoying anymore. I dealt with a lot of like hitting, scratching, fighting, all that sort of stuff, and I wasn't doing the proper self-care that you as a person in the mental health field need to do, because if you don't, you burn out.
Right.
The past couple of years, I hadn't been doing that. So it got to the point where this year, where it was kind of like everything just kind of went down. I started getting in trouble at work. I wasn't doing things the same way as I usually would. I wasn't handling the kids' outburst quick enough as I usually would. I had to drop out of my master's for a couple months. Now it's going to end up being a year because it wasn't working for me. I eventually had to quit my job because it just wasn't working. Like, I would come home, eat, go to bed. That's it. I wasn't really talking to anyone. And then I ended up starting to, like, obviously I don't want to say, like, drinking heavy, but I was drinking more than I normally would. And you've known me for a long time. I'm not the one to, like...
No.
Drink all the time.
Yeah.
But especially, I'll give you an example. Every time I would see you, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking hungover. I was hungover. It was just one of those things where, like, I wasn't sure how to deal with my emotions or what was going on. School was going bad. That was going bad. I wasn't doing the self-care because we deal with a lot.
Yeah. Especially
with, like, the kids and, like, everything that we deal with our work. Like, sometimes our clients have bad days and they scream at us. When it comes to kids with autism, sometimes they don't know how to regulate themselves. They start taking it out on you, and then you kind of... It's hard to sometimes not go home and, like, not feel like you're good enough or I'm doing my job wrong. And just all those negative thoughts, and then you kind of just start going into a spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bad. I probably gained weight over it, started eating more. Obviously, I know more into, like, the mental health and all that stuff, so I knew something was going on. So that's why I took a year off school and why I quit my job and got new jobs, just to try and change the dynamic of things and change my environment, just to see what would happen.
Right.
And everyone kind of deals with that kind of stuff differently. Like, I had a coworker where I couldn't get out of bed to come to work.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, and, like, I've had a bunch of coworkers who, at my Canadian Mental Health Association, who have a bunch of jobs, and I was like, I don't know how you have more than one. And my other coworkers like, yeah, I only have this one because I have to take care of my mental health. Like, it's a lot when you have different jobs in the mental health field.
Yeah.
Dealing with so much. And I ended up at one point having two. I was working at CMHA and I was working with the kids. So I would go into working 8 to 4 and then working kind of until 10 at the group homes. And I was like, I can't do this.
That's a lot.
That's why in our field, there's always talk about self-care. Like, we had classes about self-care and all that stuff because it's a lot. And if you don't do it, you burn out pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that at all. That's a lot on, someone's mental health for sure. You went through this experience and you went through, like, your own personal issues with mental health. What kind of tips and tricks worked for you to kind of get yourself out of that slump?
For me, I would say just being honest with yourself, and I feel like you can relate to it in the sense of, like, actually, like, admitting that there's something wrong and that it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, it is what it is, and it's just a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
And to reach out and see someone and talk to someone, even if it's not seeing someone, like, for me, it was kind of like just admitting to myself that all that I was doing was too much and I needed to take a year off school and that I needed to change my jobs. Taking the steps to just spend time with your family and friends, that really helped me a lot. Journaling, that really helps as well. Go for a run, or whenever the gym's open again, like go to the gym. Like I was going to start doing that. Mm-hmm. I know everyone says that, but I swear I was.
I believe you. I believe you.
And everyone's different though. So what would work for me won't work for everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of different, and you kind of have to get to know yourself. I think that's the most important one. You have to get to know yourself and know what works for you and what doesn't. Because doing might not work for someone. Going to go see someone might not work for someone. Just talking to their friends might work. But you have to do it so your life doesn't spiral out of control.
I didn't really, for me personally, like you said, it took me getting to know myself before I could fully, recover and get my own help and stuff like that. So right. That's a big step first. And it's hard, but,
it's hard.
That's like a requirement, almost. You have to, get to know yourself, what works, before you get recovered and stuff like that.
Right, because if you don't, then you're just kind of just, doing it to do it. You're not, and it's not going to help you. You have to know the stuff that helps you so that you can keep doing it. I feel like mental health is something that will always be with you. For me, I say that it's affecting me now, but I would say mental health was affecting me from a young kid. It was kind of those, I don't want to say, I guess signs. Obviously, my childhood was a little different, as you know, moving here from you were young. So we kind of went through a little when we were kids. But it was kind of those things where I started to realize that some things I wasn't handling properly, as you normally would. It took me a long time too, and I'm in the field.
Yeah, right, exactly. So there you go.
I'm 25. It took me probably 25 years to finally be I need to actually take the steps and not just kind of put it in the back burner.
Yeah, for sure.
Or when you're too comfortable doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I know you get into a slump, you'll feel like you're totally okay with just being in bed all day.
Yeah.
Like that.
Exactly.
I was always kind of scared to even say something to my brother or even say something to my parents. And I feel like my family, my family's very close-knit. I think that's a lot of issues for a lot of, especially kids and teenagers who have mental health issues, but you don't want to tell your parents because whatever the case may be, or they're not close to them, or whatever it is. It's kind of one of those things where you kind of just have to, I think you start to learn as you get older. I think it's a lot harder to deal with mental health when you're a teenager than when you're our age.
Yeah.
Because you kind of know yourself. But as a teenager, it's extremely hard to process everything and understand what to do, who to go to. I think parents also have a huge impact on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Laura, thank you again for joining me today for this episode. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So the last little bit here isn't about me or anything. It's kind of like a little shameless plug for my guests. So if you've got anything going on or you want to, advertise anything going on in your life, now's the time to say it to the viewers.
If you know anybody that can donate any gloves or anything like that for CMHA, reach out to me because I know my coworkers are there full time, and I'll be there on Friday. And I know, obviously, the more the better.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely put your your contact information down below, Instagram and stuff. Other than that, thank you so much for joining Laura and I on this episode of the H Panel. To all my viewers, I will see you next time. So that was Laura Escobar and myself on the H Panel. Just wanted to say to all my viewers, once again, I'm going to say this at the end of every single video, so you guys better get used to it. I really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving me and all the reception I've been getting. My initial goal with this channel was, to kind of bring out conversation about mental health and kind of normalize mental health and bash the stigma and all of that. And I really feel like, all the conversations I've been having with people and just the reception I've been getting, I feel like we're doing our part, and that makes everything, feel really worth it. So thank you guys so much. Remember again to like, comment, subscribe. There's a subscribe button here probably. I'll put all the information down below. Other than that, Guys, keep being awesome and stay safe out there. See you next time.